Okay, so this might seem a little weird to start the vlog here, but it is almost 8:30 at night. I have completed the first read-through of Project Star. And I'm actually really pleased to say that I don't think I'm gonna need as many rewrites as I thought I was going to. Like, there's gonna need to be rewrites, but it's not gonna have to be the entire book, if that makes sense. There are bits and pieces of the book that definitely need complete overhauls, like chapter 1 especially. But there are some chapters that I think I can actually leave alone. Not a lot, but a couple of them are pretty good on their own. And I'm just like, okay. And of course I'm being critical, and of course this was the first read through, so I was like, okay, just get through it and see what's crap and see what's workable. And I have a lot more workable pieces than I actually thought I was going to. So I'm really proud of that. And I have now made a list for things to do on the second pass. And that list is, I need to make a character list, and I need to make a lore list, like things in the book that I have written about the world that are like world knowledge. I need to expand on some of those so that I know what they are and that I can use them properly going forward in the future. And even if I never touch them again, I need to know what they are. So that's two things. I also have to think really hard on which chapters need complete overhaul, which I've been marking them as I go. I've already marked a couple, including chapter 1. I think my note for chapter 1 is this sucks. Please fix this. So that's going to be fixed. Fix anything glaring at me, like a misspelled word or a misspoken sentence or a poorly, incorrectly grammatically tagged dialogue, anything like that, or like a glaring plot hole mistake. Fix it in the paper format. And then any scenes that need to be cut, mark them through, and if they need to be replaced, write that note down. And then also, if I need anything additional, where do they need to go? So yeah, I am so pleased. Like, yes, there's going to be rewrites. Yes, there's going to be a whole fresh manuscript that gets put up, but I don't need to really add to this story the way that I thought I was going to. It's decent. It's not good. It's good. It's not like amazeballs yet, but so for some reason my iPhone storage was full, but whatever. So basically we are done with the first pass. It is time to move on to the second pass, and a lot of the stuff that I wrote down that I thought I would need to add in, I really don't need to, because the story, once I'm in it again, it really is doing the work. And like I said, the first 23 chapters were like 2 years ago written. Decent, like really decent. I did a lot better job of being active voice there than passive than I thought I did. And also the last several chapters that I wrote, like the last 20 chapters that I wrote, I'm definitely gonna have to go back through and make them more active. But again, we were just trying to get the words out. So I'm gonna start the second pass and see how quickly I can get the main things that I need completed, and then open up that fresh manuscript and start draft 2. So let's see. So update, I'm supposed to be recording another video on my ADHD series today, but we got a new prompter set up and it is not working. Like the lavalier mic is not communicating with my Mac. We have to get an adapter, or we need to pull out another one of our microphones, which is quite literally in the closet right next to my daughter's room, and she's napping and we are all down with some kind of a cold. So that is not going to be possible today. So I'm just going to give you an update on how I'm doing with Project Star. I am a third of the way through the second read through. I'm at chapter 16 right now. And I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy. There are a couple of chapters that definitely need reworking. Chapter 1 needs, the beginning of chapter 1 needs a complete overhaul. And I'm really not sure how to do that yet. So when I start the rewrite, I might be starting on chapter 2. But as of right now, we're doing really well. If I can get, it's the 25th today, if I can get another 15 done before the end of the month, that would be amazing. Some chapters are quicker than others. Some chapters I'm not having to notate hardly anything other than small things, but those are few and far between. There are other chapters where I'm making like notes and notes and notes and notes to clarify, reframe, restructure, rewrite, take out completely. I have an entire section in one chapter where I've crossed through and said, do not do this, please don't. So that is where we are sitting. Yeah, I don't feel good. My kids have shared. Hubby brought something home, and I'm hoping tonight he can fix whatever is happening with the lavalier mic, because I really want to get another ADHD written writing with ADHD video out this week, for the next Wednesday. But I think we might be doing this vlog of the read through for Project Star. And then there's some other thoughts that I've been having, like when this project is done, what do I want to do with it? I've been having a lot of thoughts. I recently backed Bethany Atzazada's Liar in the Hollow Court book, and I've been really, really, really curious and interested in her series on how she did Kickstarter. And it was a really big inspiration. I don't know what I'm going to do with this book when it's finished. I don't know if I'm going to trad pub it, like actually try to query again. I haven't queried in a very long time. I have queried other books, obviously to rejection, but I was very, very new and very, very green. Yeah, I was green. And now I have a better sense of the industry that I'm writing in, a better sense of the genre that I'm writing in. And I've grown as a writer. And then I don't know if I want to self-publish. Like, my instinct is to self-publish. However, this is a book that's like a YA, clean YA fantasy. So I don't know, within that self-pubbing, would it be worth to do a Kickstarter? I don't know. So those are just some of the things that have been kicking around in my mind. I would love hardback. I would love sprayed edges. I would love all of that pretty stuff. But yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see what transpires. And then I need to get, my nails. I need to remove the polish and fix that. And then I'm also, while I was dictating this zero draft, I was, for fun and letting my plotting brain go, small town, cozy Christian romance, clean obviously, and I have 2 series completely plotted, completely ready to just drop it, like just start dictation on the zero drafts, and I've kind of made myself a kind of a roadmap for those ones, like how quickly I could zero draft those to edit to completion almost. And I know that I need to get through these rewrites and focus because, as we know, shiny object syndrome is a true thing with me especially. I've always usually done 2 projects at once, and maybe that's just kind of what I need to be doing, is doing 2 projects at once, because it seems to help focus me. Because currently, like I said, I'm just in the editing and the rewriting process, so I feel a little twitchy, and I might just need to let myself zero draft something else. I don't want to start doing anything for book 2 until I have the main big plot and character arcs and tie up the loose ends that need to be tied in this book, and then whatever can be left untied in this book to go into the next book. Those threads and those themes and those arcs and those plot points. Once I'm sure of that, I will go in and start probably zero drafting book 2. But right now, we're on chapter 16. And I'm just trying to get through this because I can't wait to just open up a fresh manuscript and actually get down to business. So that's update number 2. I'm a third of the way through on February 26th, actually the 26th. Sick brain. So yeah, I will hopefully be with you in a couple of days to say I'm 2/3 of the way through, maybe, depending on how this illness goes. So I'll talk to you later. Hey guys, another update here. I'm officially 2/3 of the way through this rewrite. So I left off at the end of this little mini session on chapter 36. So I technically only have 10 chapters left to go through, which is fantastic. And as you can tell by the no makeup face and disheveled hair, and by my slight crackly Yzma voice from the Emperor's New Groove, your girl's still sick. So we are just going to take this next 9 minutes to kind of chitter-chat about my thought process going forward, a new experiment/challenge that I'm really excited to get started. However, I do want to start that when I am healthy and I can really wrap my brain and my mindset into it and do it well to the best of my ability, and I am not there yet. I don't want to start something when I'm feeling like absolute garbage. So right here, you can see that I'm literally just note-taking. So the first half of the book actually was surprisingly very well versed. It was vivid and vibrant, and the biggest thing that I saw were some plot issues. There's a couple of plot holes that I had to tie up, inconsistencies with characters and how they act or react, making sure that I write out a list of my characters. So like all the little side characters have descriptions, and even if they're just seen once or twice, I know where they belong and who they are, where they're from. And I also had to write a list of the lore that I had logged in the beginning, first 50,000 words of the book, that I need to know 100% so that I can explain it better in the first and the last part of the book and all throughout the series. My active voice was also very good in the first part of this book, although there are chapters and huge sections of chapters that I will need to completely rewrite. This is not against past me, it's just the name of the game. You know your first draft is always going to have rewrites, and some parts are just going to be crap. That's just what's going to happen. Like I have told you before, I absolutely hate my first chapter. The last half of the chapter is actually pretty decent. I can save it. The first half of the chapter is awful. It's boring. It's dull. It doesn't start off with a hook of any kind. It's just very telly and very slow for me. But once I get them, them being the beginnings and the hook, I'm usually pretty decent. But it definitely takes a while for me to get there. Now, towards the end of this book, it's also very good. There's not too much disjointed voice, which I was really concerned about. I was concerned that because I wrote this 2 years ago,
that the voice and tone of my writing was going to be very different, and there is some slight differences. However, the rewrite will help to smooth all of that out. I just have to start it from scratch and just rewrite it, retype it, and be in that flow mode. And for the last half, when I started to do the voice dictation, I really started to take off and really started to get the words down. So you will see me just taking little tiny notes and then turn the page, and little tiny notes and turn the page. When I voice dictate, when I am describing something, I will actually look up an example of what I'm trying to describe, and I will use the words to describe it. Or like a video of a castle, I will describe something about the castle, something about the battlement, something about like armor, anything like that, so I can visually see in front of me. That way I can verbally explain what I'm seeing in my head. I actually do that a lot with action sequences as well. I watch a lot of anime sequences or fights, that sort of thing, or video games like Halo. I will just watch the fighting styles and I will explain it because I'm very visual. I don't do well just coming up with action scenes in the top of my head because I want to be technical and I want to make sure that it makes sense to the reader, that you can visually see this like a dance in your brain. But what I do find that voice dictation as an actor can kind of catch me up on is the dialogue. So instead of tagging my dialogue when I do the voice dictation, I will actually just run through like, oh my gosh, you didn't. Yes, I absolutely did. No, you can't do that. That's against the rules. Well, who says it's against the rules? The five says it's against the rules. We can't do that. Are the five going to stop me? Like, that's an entire dialogue run through between like two characters, and I don't tag them. So you'll see me kind of making this little note at the top of the page that basically just says, tag your dialogue, who is speaking, flesh this out, bring color to this, bring description. Don't overdo it, but bring description and bring facial expressions. Show us their reactions instead of, telling us. And also, maybe I won't need to say anything. Maybe I can take out a piece of dialogue by just giving a facial reaction or a bodily reaction, kind of showing that visceral side to it. So that is where I am really having on this second half to go through on these rewrites and really pay attention for those. The biggest thing for me also is knowing my lore and writing down the things that I put in place at the beginning of the book, because they're good and I have them in my notes, but I also left me in those notes to figure it out, and I haven't figured it out yet. So I have to go through it and figure those out. So that'll be another thing that'll be on my to-do list. I don't actually know when I start the rewrites. If I'm going to be starting with chapter 1, I might just go right into chapter 2 where I feel comfortable and leave a blank slate for chapter 1 and come back to it and marinate on it after I finish, because sometimes that's just what I have to do to restart my first chapter. I have to get to the end because I kind of like to mirror the end and the beginning and leave you on a cliffy. Next, let's talk about this new project / challenge / experiment that I have mentioned earlier that I'm going to be titling Project Pen Name. It's more of an experiment than anything else, but I'm not going to tell you my pen name because I literally just picked it because it sounded like fun and it fit the vibe of the small town clean romance that I'm currently have outlined. And basically what it's going to be is me tracking, writing down, and logging how fast it takes me to write a 55,000 to 60,000 word book using voice dictation as my zero draft. Now, I have not started this yet. Before I got sick, I wrote out a rough idea of when I wanted to start, which was March 2nd, yesterday, because I don't do any work on Sundays. But today is the 3rd of March, and when I am recording this for you guys, I'm still sick. You can hear it. I've still got to finish these edits to start the rewrites because I know that just has to be completed. And I've let my brain run again and have fun with some plot points. And because of that, I now have a 5-book series with 3 spin-offs. I have another 6 books, small town series in a completely different location. But then I kept coming back to my original location because I love it and I am so in love with it that I actually have 3 separate trilogy spin-offs, all in areas that I am so excited and interested in. One is the equine show jumping world, which I'm from. I have my master's in equine business and I worked in the racehorse industry. 2 is the fashion industry, but mixing that with the equestrian world. And 3 is the equine breeding and veterinary side of things, which again have been very much a part of my past life. And kind of bringing all of those together is so cool to see it fleshed out. And to be able to write about something that I know absolutely a lot about. I don't have to look it up. I don't have to research. It's just a part of me and it brings me joy. And it brings me back to those horse books that I read when I was a little girl. but bringing them to like an adult 4 is super fun. So I will have a separate video on that, how I'm setting it up, how I'm, making that a whole project. I will probably have a video up in the next quarter because I do want to do the first book first so that I know what kind of time frame I'm working with, because I have a minimal time frame I can work with, and then I have a fast track time frame that I can work with, and that's just kind of all part of the experiment. So I want to be in a good headspace for that, and that might be the next quarter's big project alongside the rewrites for Project Star. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Sorry for my voice. Sorry there wasn't any new writing for ADHD videos this week. We'll be doing that next week. We got our technical issues sorted, and hopefully in a couple of days, my voice will be sorted because I have more audio work that needs to get done. So from me to you guys, God bless and don't stress.